Hello, Carl Munson here with the moment here on New Reality TV as we get very excited about our summit that's happening this weekend. It's my great pleasure to be the MC, Master of Ceremonies. It's quite an old-fashioned sort of title, that, isn't it? Master of Ceremonies for the summit that starts tomorrow. That's Eastern time at 10 a.m. Through to 7 p.m. and on Sunday 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. as well. Really looking forward. And it might be, I did actually send out quite, well, it was a recent memo that will have reached a few of my colleagues that you can see on the screen here. Probably, it may have woken some of them up, given that we're here in Portugal at midday. And we'll see if some of those sleepyheads want to join us in this next 30 minutes here on New Reality TV to talk about their role in the summit and actually what New Reality TV means to them. Now, you can help me with that question today, if you will. Tell me what a new reality means to you. As I said yesterday, I've been immersing myself in the work of Neville Goddard, and you can't not be creating a new reality. Is a sentiment that I think it's fair to say he proposes, and one I completely agree with. Whatever we're thinking about, however we're being in the world, will create the reality that we then later see as it comes out of the tap of reality, so-called reality, and this existence. So isn't that a remarkable thought? And then, oh my God, what a responsibility as well to know that how you're being and what you're thinking and everything you're putting in to the what would it be, the consciousness is reflecting back out in a mirroring of your state of consciousness. I would say dictates, produces the reality that you experience. So yeah, that's quite the responsibility, is it not? And then something very beautiful to play with. I guess once we've got used to the potential responsibility of that, we might get comfortable in it and relax into it and see where it goes. Good morning to you, Deb. Lovely to have your company. Good morning, Munson's just one of me today. She's still resting her voice. And of course, Louisa will be on at the summit at what will that be? That will be the 11 EST time slot after Tom Evans. I'll come back to more of the itinerary and the timetable. My voice is still a little bit strange as well. Let me just mute for a moment. And a little bit of a cough there. Hopefully that'll be completely cleared up by tomorrow and for the whole summit. Yep, I think it sounds like Deb's booked in. If you want to meet Deb, you can come along and do that at the summit then over the weekend. Looking forward to hanging out with you, Deb, over the weekend. My new reality is possibly coming out of retirement to share my awareness of reality. Haha, say more. Tell us more, Deb. Retirement, you say? What's that? Most retired people I know, and I help a lot of people, retired people, move to Portugal. I play a part. It does sound quite, but probably overblown, grandiose to say I help people move to Portugal. I'm a part of the puzzle, one of the jigsaw pieces of moving to Portugal. And a lot of them say their idea is to retire here. At least it's just a cough. Yes, hope so. Yeah, a lot of them say they've never been busier. It's a funny thing, isn't it, about retirement? A lot of people have never been busier having so-called retired. It's just one of those funny things, isn't it, in our culture, this idea of retirement, and then ultimately finding out that you're busier than you've ever been. Hopefully doing the things you want to do. And I guess retirement, that's interesting, isn't it? That's a really good example of creating a new reality, because it's actually a great example of the technology of creation and creativity and law of attraction, law of assumption, because a lot of people put a lot of effort and time and energy into what they're going to do when they retire. And lo and behold, it tends to happen, doesn't it? Because there's such a focus on it. And that can be a very physical thing, you know, what it's going to look like, where it's going to be, what they're going to be doing, what their timetable is. And the interesting thing to me with retirement, the idea of retirement, is how many people, I wonder, think about how they're going to feel. Is it very material? Is it very worldly? Are they thinking about the dotting the I's and crossing the T's of how their life's going to be when those when the 40-year plan is concluded and they get into retirement age? The mechanics, the timetable is one thing, isn't it? But for the ultimate results, you might say, and with all of the study and the the awareness I have now, deepening awareness of Neville Goddard and his particular avenue of understanding, is how much of retirement, retirement visualization is how people are going to feel, because that's really what makes the difference. It's really, I mean, I think we know that instinctively, and the more one considers it, the more it would appear to be true. That as you for the best results in manifestation, it's so important to feel the state of your ultimate conclusion. I was going to say feel the state of your ultimate climax, but that might be confusing, especially at this time of the morning. Good morning to you, Jacqueline Branco, as well. Good to see you. I am retired full-time, and Jacqueline's a very good example of somebody who's probably never been busier. I know you're a very busy person, Jacqueline, and you're doing lots of wonderful things and beautifully for other people as well. So would you concur with that theory? And did you visualize? Did you feel how it was going to be? Did that help your manifestation process for your retirement? Morning. Oh, hello, Mrs. M. Hello. Morning, love and Deb from Louisa there. Probably more convenient, comfortable to text rather than speak at the moment. Yes, I'd love to visit Portugal. Well, here we go. Why don't we make that an experiment? How would you feel if you visualize yourself being here in Portugal? What sort of state will you be in? Can you feel it right now? I'm going to invite you to do that. Climax, that's a new reality. Enough of that sort of talk, Mrs. M. Right. So as an aid to manifestation, meditation is all important, coming into the moment. So should we do that together? Should we have a moment? The show is called The Moment. Funnily enough, one of my ideas for it would be that we come into as full a sense of our being and presence and the moment as possible at midday every day in Portugal time. Let's set up a retreat to Portugal. I think isn't that what I already do? Oh, I see what you mean for other people. Yeah, let's do it. Absolutely. I met a lady who's involved in knitting tours of Portugal, an American retiree here in Portugal, and she's got involved. She's clearly a very good manifester, and she comes from the capital of the world capital, I think, of personal growth and human potential, California. She's here, and she was knitting in the meeting that I was in. It was nothing to do with knitting, but it turned out that she was part of a knitting tour of Portugal, and I discussed this with Louisa, and yeah, let's do mystical, spiritual tours of Portugal. Well up for that. Oh, yes, so's Deb by the sound of it. So yeah, absolutely. At first, it's wonderful to say, I can do whatever I want today. Then I start to feel like I should share my knowledge of living. Yes, that sounds familiar, very relatable. And I can understand the part of us that after a life of hard work, it's like, enough of that. I'm just going to do what I feel like doing. And that, I think, for anyone who's lucky enough to have been able to stop and say, I can do whatever I want today, I don't think they do that for the rest of their lives. It's like, okay, I've done what I want to do today for a few weeks now, and I think there might be something a little bit more fulfilling than this available to me. So yes, interesting that, isn't it? I can do whatever I want today. We go ahead and do that, and then I think I want to do something else now. Vinny and I are working on connecting. I know someone called Vinny in the UK. Is it the same one? Deb, I wonder. Right, back to this, the moment then. And why don't we make a little manifestation matrix together here? And I know we momentarily delve into presence and the moment here on the moment, which is, for me, is one of the pillars of this endeavor that Mrs. M and I do. And we talk to fantastic people as well. And you're going to be able to talk to a few of them over the weekend. And maybe we'll take it a stage further today, now that I've got the show to myself. Whoa! The power is going to my head here. And I'm not only going to encourage you to come into the moment with me, I'm going to invite you to do that. Let's go a little bit deeper, shall we? Let's use the manifestation matrix, I'm going to call it. Oh, okay. Yeah. Love to Vinny. When you next speak to him, do give him a big virtual hug from me. And Tasha, good to see you here. Listen to your conversation with Louisa earlier this week. It's so great listening to you. Thank you very much for your contribution to this show and your contribution to humanity. Basically, I do like the cut of your jib. Please don't take that the wrong way. It's a compliment. What you're messaging is bang on for me. And I will go into the moment with you, Carl. Okay, so we've got one taker. That's enough for me. In fact, I'll do it anyway, even if no one's going to come with me. Hi, Tasha, from Louisa to you, Tasha. There. Right, okay, so if you will, feel the weight of your body on the chair. I'm assuming you sat down at the moment, but if you stood up, feel the weight of your body in your shoes, or if you're leaning against the wall, wherever you happen to be, wherever your body is making contact with the world, which is, I suppose, one way of putting it, isn't it? We have a body presence, a sense of a body that we live in is our vehicle, and that tends to have to be parked up somewhere in this so-called reality of ours. So let me cough again as well. While you're making yourself comfortable and parking your carcass somewhere, please be aware of where your body, the edge of your body, is touching the edge of the world, if you like, where it's making contact. Could you please put your perception, your awareness, your consciousness there for as long as you can, and for be aware of that, of those two surfaces meeting, if you like, where your body's meeting the world. And if you can, just be aware of it, because as we know, the thinking mind will come in and say, "Oh, I must whatever. I must do more exercise, or I must do that later, or this chair isn't as comfortable as I thought," and blah 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 blah. That's fine. No, we're not. I know I'm caricaturing it, and it seems like I'm knocking it. I just think it's funny that starts up, and just so if you can be aware of that, be aware primarily of where your body's meeting the chair, or whatever surface it finds itself on. And secondarily, if you like, or as well as, be aware of whatever comes up in the endeavor of not being caught up in the thought stream, but just seeing it emerge from wherever it's coming from. Tom's good on this. It's like, is it coming from behind here? Is it coming from over there? Wherever these thoughts are emerging, arising from, just let them, be aware of them, and keep coming back to that transcendent perspective of that process while I mute up for a moment. Enjoy the silence. And of course, I'm doing that with you. That was quite vigorous. I definitely felt like I had a body there, and it was rocking with coughing. And I'm going to have a sip of water now. And it's these surfaces are meeting constantly, aren't they, with each other? My lips touch the surface of the water went into my mouth. I can be aware of all of that, and every moment there's all sorts of there's infinite possibilities, aren't there? So in the scenario of having a sip of water, I can very much be aware of the water on my lips touching the glass, the sensation of the water going into my body. And I can think, oh my God, is that one of my 56 liters I'm meant to be drinking today? And, and then go off on a thought spiral of that kind. I hope this water quality is all right. I think I'll take it for granted that we all know about that dynamic and what can happen. So I'm going to come back again to the mindfulness of it. And I invite you to do the same. So well done, Deb. Carcass is planted. Stay there, as in, when I say stay, isn't it interesting? That can be taken many ways. If I say stay there, plant your carcass, be where you are. I'm not giving you an order to remain seated. What I'm saying is stay there. I'm talking to your consciousness, which I hope that doesn't sound too pretentious, but I'm saying if you can, remain conscious and as fully conscious as you can of what's going on, rather than into the partiality and the minutiae of this exercise. And it might be that expands my well, let me put it like this way: a possibility of resting into that consciousness of what's going on is expansion. Now, I don't know. I honestly don't know if that's going to be happening for you or not. Only you know that. What I do know is it's a possibility, and it's a possibility I can speak to you about from my experience, because I get a sense of it now. There is an expansion. As much as I'm communicating with you, I'm getting this broadened sense of expansion of awareness, as well as having the conversation. And the conversation, the context of the conversation is in this broadened awareness, and it feels really nice. I'm not worried or wondering about what I'm going to say next. Fortunately, that drama isn't there. I feel relaxed enough to have done this before. There's a kind of familiarity about it, and I trust that whatever is going to be said could be useful. It will emerge anyway, and there's an ease, and from that ease grows a greater ease. And they're almost like fungal lines, aren't they? Mycelium growths, and they're always going in a direction. And I can only hope that for you, the direction of this conversation, of this experience now, is into a growth of expansion and a greater sense, a clearer, easier sense of being alive right now in this moment. I'm feeling that. I'm holding that space. I'm enjoying that space myself. And all I can do is offer and invite you to be in that same space, if you like, on that same timeline or consciousness, vibration, wherever you are. I guess that's all we can do, isn't it? That's all we can do ever, really, is to connect and invite in that way. So what I'll do also in the great enemy of television is go quiet, and the great enemy of radio and television is to have some dead air. Ironically, this may be, whilst on one level dead air in media terms, it might be the most alive air that I might experience today in this silence. Oh, I think someone's bursting into the studio here as well. And that's great too. It's like, wow, in this space that I'm in, things are happening, and I can allow them to arise and fall in this expanded and easy awareness. Or I can get panicked. Oh my God, I'm trying to do a TV show here and someone's coming in. I can lose my mind, can't I? Literally lose my mind. I can lose my mind to what's happening and the specifics, that little bit of a difficulty that comes up, or I can just allow it all to come and go. And funny enough, it's gone. It has gone. The studio invader has arisen and gone their separate way, whoever that and whatever that was, and we can come back. If you need a reference point, it can be your breath coming in and out of your body. It can be the planted carcass. It can be the weight of the body on the chair. Right now, in this moment, right now. We can ease more and more into that space and into that awareness. And that would appear to be our constant choice in life, our free will, if you like, our free will to be taking the fork into greater expanded awareness, into expansion, or into contraction, to become partial, to be specific. There may be things to do. I need to get specific and partial at times in the day to make something happen. I'll have to get partial and specific as I press the end stream button here to honor my agreement with New Reality TV that I am going to conclude the show at past. So I need to get specific. And when I've done that, when I've met the formality, the agreement, I can expand again. And we have this choice all the time. And it comes back to that great responsibility, doesn't it? Where are we putting our consciousness, our awareness at any given moment? And it is a big responsibility, no question about it. And it is an almighty opportunity as well. It's beautiful. Aren't we lucky to have this? Aren't we lucky to have this? And it would appear in the continuation, in the illusion of the concept of time, we keep getting that opportunity. It's not like blink and you miss it, or here's your chance and now it's gone. It's like we are blessed with the repeated opportunity to expand into all that we are and who we can truly be in any given moment. And my goodness, you know, that just came out of my mouth and was heard by my ears as like, oh my God, that's quite something. That's quite something. Tasha is honored. Love you all. Hi, Louisa. So happy to be in service together. We're finally here. That sounds great. And I love how you guys have shown us how to come back to the moment. It's what we're doing now, Deb, isn't it? Doing just about anything. Yes. Washing it. See, and that's the thing, isn't it? You know, although it may look like, you know, one needs to be sat in a particular posture. And I understand why that is. I understand why people formalize and ritualize meditation, because that might be what it takes to come offline and to be in a retreat mentality, in a retreat context, to give the head a wobble and say, oh, okay, yes, this exists as well. But you're absolutely right, Deb. It's amazing. We can do it anywhere, can't we? We can bring this momentary invitation, this momentary choice to wherever we are. By the grace of God, we can do it. We are given it wherever we are, in the most elevated or the most awful of circumstances. And of course, it's more difficult in what we might characterize as the most awful of circumstances. But I would add to that, in when I've been in a state of grief and my world has been blown apart, there's an access there to the stillness and sense of being and sense of priority, and how the worldly matters just fall away, allowing being, momentary being, to be present. Right. Sorry, I'm getting a bit word salady now. I'm aware of that, but I think the main thing is like, well, there he goes. He's just off on one. All I need to do is be here in the chair, come back to my breath, be aware of what's going on and in my consciousness. Munson can do what he wants. You know, I don't think you should try and stay with me if your experience of the moment is elevated and beautiful and expanded right now. Go with it. Go your way and go well with that. And that's another thing, isn't it, about ritual and habit, is that these things can eventually kind of go against us, if you like, when they become rote, when they become mechanical, and that beautiful, spontaneous, expanded awareness is taken away by some sort of machinery or habit. But yeah, washing your hands, walking, drawing, everything, Deb, gives us this opportunity, I think. And my breath, you say, is my connection with the present moment. It's a good one, isn't it? It's a good one. And this is why I think teachers, sages throughout time exactly have the breath as a very reliable reference point. I mean, for one thing, if you're not breathing, there's probably something quite important to take care of, and that really would bring you into the moment. But the breath is so beautiful, nourishing, and taken for granted. Let's face it. I have shared this concept with others because I think it can help others understand what meditation is. Absolutely. And there are words, aren't there? And there are ideas that have become counterproductive. And sometimes I think even with meditation, or maybe should I say especially with meditation, as soon as you say a word, it triggers what people think that means, rather than there being a genuine inquiry available around that subject. So yeah. Even the moment, all of these words, all of these ideas can work against us, can't they? Ultimately, in the world of the mind, because the mind is made of opposites, and we swing to and fro and back and forth and left and right and up and down and black and white. And beyond that, in the transcendence, in the pure consciousness, is our salvation, which all of these ideas, I think, are trying to point us towards. And if we get hung up on the ideas, we can get lost. We you know, we're looking at the finger instead of looking at what it's pointing at. Now, talking of, please as well, I'm not saying stop being mindful and conscious. I would love to think that this show, The Moment, encourages that expanded awareness as a context for what we're talking about. So please stay where you are, as I was saying to Deb. And by that, I mean, be as expanded in your awareness and your consciousness and your senses as much as is possible. And I will continue to talk. This is not a clunky change. This is an integration. This is just a suggestion again, a suggestion I'm putting forth, an invitation into your opened awareness. And I would like to bring to your attention what's happening this weekend. I think all of the people here who are invited to join me this morning are still asleep. So let's keep the noise down and let them sleep, shall we? Tom Evans, our dear mate Tom Evans, who joins us on a Monday, will be kicking off the proceedings tomorrow, 10 Eastern time. You'd think with AI, we'd have some fantastic translator, simultaneous translator that tells you what that is in your time zone. But I'm going to have to let you do the maths yourself. He's going to be joining us. And actually, it's the opening at 10 a.m. and I'll be talking to the leading lights, the founders of New Reality TV, Will Rodriguez, Karen Ensley, and Melinda is a very important part of what we do here. Not always on screen, but if Melinda is available to talk to, I'd love to thank her personally and publicly, because it's so important what she does and the amazing contribution she makes to this endeavor. So there'll be time to hopefully connect with them as well. With Will and Karen, I'm hoping to have a chat as we open tomorrow, and perhaps Melinda as well. Then Tom will follow them as our first speaker, followed by Louisa. And I think they're also moderating for each other. So you'll see the interplay between Tom and Louisa. Heather is then, Heather Finch joins us after that. A teacher, Akashic record mystic. The print is very small. I'm asking us to be in our senses here, and my sense of sight is not as finely hawk-like attuned to see the tiny print that's on the screen, but you can see Heather Finch, who will be joining us as our third speaker, followed by Siri, who we've spoken to on the moment. Melissa Oatman will be here as well, and Gillian Holly. I'd like to give Gillian some special thanks as well, because Gillian is the driving force behind this summit, the Awaken to a New Reality Summit, which is what we're talking about here. Rise Beyond, a free spiritual summit. Did I say it was free? Yeah, you can still sign up for our free spiritual summit, which is all about creating your new reality. It's 100% online, by the way. There's nowhere to go. Stay in the comfort of your own home. It will be happening. You'll be sent the links to join us. It's a live virtual conference. Yes, it will be live, and I'll be emceeing it, and you can register at newrealitytv.com. I will be asking all the speakers what a new reality means to them, and thank you, Deb, for answering that question in the chat. I think that's an ongoing conversation. You know, what does it mean? Let's name it. And more importantly, how do we want to feel in the new reality? With this concept of the new reality in our minds, how would that feel in our hearts? What would that feel like to you when you arrived at, or as you arrive, as you visualize, and as you're being with it now, the new reality? What does that feel like to you? And if you can move from that state of bliss, which I'm assuming it is, of joy, of happiness, of peace, of love and understanding and compassion and all those good things, and you can have the energy to type that out onto the keyboard, pop it into the chat as well. But I understand if you don't. The interesting thing I think sometimes about bliss and peace and love is like the urge to express or to communicate can sometimes not be there. I mean, it would make sense, wouldn't it, to be truly in the moment? There may be no investment in constant communication. To others, it might just be real and full and free and true in the moment. Sunday, then, Mark Weissman, it will be kicking off the proceedings on the Sunday, on the 30th of March. Reverend Tracy O'Connor, live from Ireland. She's got a lovely accent. If you like the Irish accent, looking forward to hearing the Reverend Tracy O'Connor speaking on Sunday. Chris Ashley, Derek Loudermilk as well. It's been lovely to meet Derek backstage. I didn't actually meet him, but he has a wonderful presence, and I'm sure his talk will be very interesting indeed, as will Daniel Jackson. Daniel Jackson, he's a real character. And the other Daniel, the past life regressionist Daniel, will be concluding events for us on Sunday. So the summit, come join us for that, and we'll see you again on Monday. Bye for now.